Hello, Internet. So yeah, taking here, giving my gut reactions of what I saw at Microsoft's E3 press conference that just ended. So it's basically just me talking about the games they showed over footage of the conference because I recorded the whole thing. And yeah, so Microsoft 5 looks really good, but it's really weird because it's like every game I saw, it was like I don't know. My reaction was like, okay, is this exclusive or is this multi-platform? And then like after that, it was okay. Well, what is this game and what does it mean to me? So it's like Metal Gear 5 looks great, and everything in that game looked amazing. Like I would say that it was the best looking game of like well, not the best looking like graphically, but just of all the games, it's the most I'm excited to play of everything that they showed. But it's funny because I'm pretty sure this one's on PS3 and 360, so it's not. It's also a weird spot because it's one of those games that you don't have to have an Xbox One or PS4 to play. But yeah, it looks great. The open world and all the different stealth stuff they have and all the different new characters looks great. Um, let's see. Moving on from that, we have the talk about the gold membership will carry over to Xbox One and how starting in I think it was July that you're going to get 2 free games per month on Xbox Live Gold. But then they showed the two free games that they're gonna like feature as like games, and it was Assassin's Creed 2 and Halo 3, both of which I already have. So I was like, okay, that's cool and everything, but this kind of presents a problem. A, I have most of the games I want to play on my 360. Like I'm not missing many from my collection. I'm like, oh man, I wish I could get this game and play it. And then B, my 360 is running out of space. I have like 4 gigabytes left out of 250 or whatever the new slim ones had that came out before the new ones that they showed today. So I'm almost out of space. I could go and delete some stuff, but it's just a pain. So that's kind of an issue. If you're getting 2 free games every month, then eventually over time you're going to run out of space. And the 360's hard drives are not like the PS3 where you can just slap in a third party laptop hard drive off the shelf or whatever from Newegg. It's you got to buy the proprietary ones, which cost way more. So it's like you're gonna get gouged on that. So that sucks. But yeah, that was weird. They had like a new 360 redesign, so it looks a lot like the Xbox One, which is weird and confusing. It's like, why would you do that? Because that kind of like would make a consumer confused if they didn't know if they're getting an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One because they both look very similar. But whatever. So yeah. It's like I'm not gonna upgrade unless there's like a really big hard drive since I now need a bigger hard drive. But yeah, let's see, 3 new Xbox 360 titles. So we got World of Tanks, which is free to play. I could really care less about that game because I was like, okay, tanks shooting each other, blowing stuff up, whatever. Max the Curse of Brotherhood, which I don't know, they didn't really show much outside of the trailer, so it's like, okay, there's like some gameplay and you're platforming. Can't really judge too much from what I saw. And Dark Souls 2, which wasn't that on... I'm confused because I don't play the Demon Souls or Dark Souls games, so I was confused on if this was the new one that's coming out this year. Actually, yeah, so this is the new game that got all the Dark Souls people excited, so I was like, but this isn't like a new game that nobody knew was coming out, so that was weird because I think this is the game that they showed at the VGAs last year. So, and it was like Dark Souls 2, and everybody got really excited. So I guess since they never said what platform it was for, I don't know. I don't keep up with this game, so it's not one on my list of, oh man, I need to play this game, since a lot of people say it's pretty brutal and difficult, what have you. So then we had a rundown of Xbox One games. So we had Rise, Son of Rome, exclusive and available at launch. So this game, not too excited. I gotta say, outside of Metal Gear 5, there wasn't really much that was like, oh man, this is so awesome. So it's kind of, on the whole, pretty disappointed from what I saw. And also, like, no more details on the, oh, look at this DRM and how it's gonna just destroy your soul. And there's so much stuff you won't be able to do now. But who cares? Here's games. Misdirection. So the Rise game, it was weird because it felt very like where Crytek has made like Far Cry in the past, and then also Crysis. It's like they went from the pew 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 dudes with guns games to dudes with swords games. That felt very like, instead of like projectile combat with assault rifles and weapons like that, you have melee combat with swords and shields. And it was really weird because it like the what they showed when you're storming the beach as Roman soldiers, it felt very reminiscent of like a scene from like Medal of Honor, and like you play that and you're storming like Normandy Beach because like you're going up and then like you're taking fire and then you have to take out the artillery that's firing on you. So it's like, yeah. And then the combat, it felt very like on railsy and linear from what I saw. So I'm not sure how much freedom of movement you have with your character, but I wasn't feeling it. It felt like looking at it, it seemed like it could be similar to like a Batman Arkham City, because well, at first I thought you were only like fighting one dude at a time, but then like you started fighting groups of dudes, so it seemed like very similar to Arkham City or the whole Batman Arkham style, where it's like you have multiple enemies and you have button prompts, but on here it's more of an execution than it is a like dodge or parry or what have you. Then we got Killer Instinct, an exclusive, and there wasn't a release date, and it was really short. And I was like, oh, I guess this is just to get like whoever's excited about this game excited for it, because it's not coming at launch. So they didn't say that, but I was never a big fan of Killer Instinct, so I know people have been frothing for it, but I've always been of the mind that it wasn't really that great. I mean, come on, whatever. And then like but now that it's coming back, I can be proven right when it comes back, and proven right that it wasn't like well, I guess it's not my cup of tea. I'm not trying to like to bash it or anything. It's not my cup of tea. I've always been a Street Fighter person. So moving on, we had Sunset Overdrive, and I was kind of confused here because it was a trailer, but I wasn't sure if it was in game since it was so cartoony and like Pixar looking, because it seemed like there's a lot of games that were using that aesthetic or like art style where it's like, oh, this is a game, but we're not using real polygonal humans, we're using these cartoony characters and stuff. And that's Naughty Dog, or not, I'm sorry, that's Insomniac, and that's usually like the style they have with like their Ratchet, well, I guess not Resistance, but before Fuse became Fuse, it was that other game where it was like cartoony looking too. But it was, I don't know, I thought that was interesting but weird, just because like the enemy types were zombie-esque but not, and then you had a bunch of weird weapons, but there wasn't a lot of specification given to the whole how's the community going to make these weapons, since it said all this stuff is generated by the community and blah 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 blah. But I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it as you can tell. Moving on, Forza Motorsport 5, nothing really to say here except for there's a car that came out of the stage, so that was interesting. And it's like some McLaren, there's like 2 in the world, blah blah blah, and I don't know. They showed the whole cloud thing where when you're not playing, the game is playing itself, and then you can come back and reap the rewards, and yeah, nothing that would benefit me. I was like, okay, it is what it is. Whatever. Still looks like Forza. Looks like a pretty racing game. Minecraft, Xbox One Edition. I have not played this game, and I know a lot of people like it. It's really popular, but it's not my cup of tea. It's not for, well, I haven't played it, but I'm pretty sure if I did, I wouldn't get sucked in and be like, oh, this is the best game ever. So, it's on Xbox One now, so there's that for you. If you really like it, Minecraft. And then Quantum Break. That game, I don't know. It's weird because they said like they're using live action elements. But I think when they say live action, they just mean like the mocap that they do for the cutscenes, because it looks really, really polished as far as the production values. It looked very interesting because you have like this whole quantum, I don't know if it's called a quantum break, but this mechanic where like you can go outside of time and interact with events and things. So they showed something where you're investigating a scene, but it ended very abruptly, so you don't get too much info on what's going on. So it looked interesting. We'll see. It's really weird though, from like what they showed before when it was like some girl and she's like, I have special powers, and then you have this boat crashing into a bridge as it changes shape, and Yeah, that game. It's like maybe they should just like said not a lot about it to keep it under wraps because now it's just like what is this game? It's very the mystique is growing. And then they showed this really cool game from I don't remember who it was from, but it's called D4. It's some sort of episodic murder mystery, and it's cel shaded and looks pretty good. And like the scenes it showed of was like this guy investigating stuff, and it looked interesting. It was very reminiscent of the aesthetic that's in the Walking Dead game from Telltale. That's just like a very cel shaded, cartoon looking, and pretty looking game. And then there was like this game, Project Spark. Okay, this is weird because it didn't seem like watching this game demoed. It was a very okay. Who is this for? Because when they were making stages, there's no real context of why we were making stages to make all these things, and it felt like a very like virtual sandbox type of game. But there's no real objective within the game to give you context of this is this genre and you're this character doing this thing. It's just like a very open artsy, like you can just go in and make stuff and have fun. But it was weird because like it would seem like it was for kids, but you had like two adults like demoing it, and they're just like having this giant battle with goblins and lava and stuff. And then moving on from that, we had like this part I was kind of tuning out because I was like it, I was paying attention but I wasn't paying attention, so I was like okay whatever. And, like none of the stuff they were showing was for me because they like the dude said smart glass and I just like I don't have a tablet, I don't have a smartphone, so none of the stuff you're about to show can really ever be used by me, so I'm gonna tune out now. But then they showed the Xbox Studio thing where you can make a clip of a game as it records in the Xbox DVR, and then you can edit it, upload it, share it. And then they also showed how you could or how the Xbox had a partnership with Twitch where on Xbox One you can stream now and do all this other stuff with the stream. I didn't really pay attention to that because I'm not too big into streaming, so I was like this is foreign to me and I don't really care either, so I'm more of the, as you can tell from the video making, a YouTube person of let me record this and put it up on the internet. I guess that's, if you're big into streaming, a nice, easy, built-in thingy, or built-in software fix for that. And then they're changing the Microsoft currency to actual currency, so they're getting rid of the stupid Microsoft points, and they're now changing it to dollars, euro, yen, what have you, whatever your currency is. And then they had a really, a snafu moment where they were going to show Crimson Dragon, but then the audio didn't play, and it was just the video, so that was weird. And it's exclusive to Xbox One, and it is the Kinect game that they were working on, I guess, with the Panzer Dragoon creator or whatever, but they moved development to the Xbox One, so it's on Xbox One now, so that's that, but we have no details because the audio totally cut out in the middle of the presentation. And then it was weird. They showed Dead Rising 3, but I'm confused because Dead Rising 3 looks like it's... I don't know. Because Dead Rising 1 is its own feel on the whole zombie genre. I didn't play Dead Rising 2, even though I have the downloadable prologue to it. So I'm not sure if it kept the same feel, the whole goofy, weird Japanese take on it. But then they showed Dead Rising 3, and it just looks like it's probably going to have a completely different, take. It's very open world and graphically realistic. And it seems like it had been westernized as far as compared to the first two. So I'm not sure if you enjoyed the first two and its weirdness that it's still in the third one. Though they did bring back the mechanic where you can combine stuff into weapons, because they had a sledge saw where this dude duct taped the sledgehammer and some sort of saw to make the sledge saw. And there's also a flashlight on a gun combination thing, but graphically it looked very good. The draw distances were crazy, and they said that the open world had no load time, so that's pretty cool. Though we don't know how big the open world is, but whatever. And then we had The Witcher 3, but it was just a trailer, so I need to play that game, by the way. I have it on Steam, like the first two, but I haven't got around to playing it. But like CD Projekt Red to me is like the next upcoming like development studio of like who you should watch to like be excited about their games, because they just, everybody says they're awesome. I haven't played them, but yeah, like they make games that like are RPGs and just really good. So if you're enjoying like RPGs that have like, I don't know, I'm not gonna sit here and try to like talk about it, but just check them out if you're into like the Western style of RPGs. Are just really good RPGs that have really well developed characters and allow you to have a lot of freedom with how you play them. Battlefield 4 Second Assault. My stream cut out on my 360 and it crapped out and it froze, so I had to turn it off. And then I went back to my computer, and then it picked up in the middle of it. And they're on some ship shooting dudes. It was Battlefield 4. It's a first-person shooter. That's what you do. You just go around and shoot people in the face. So I wasn't really impressed. I was like, oh yeah, whatever. It's Battlefield. I tuned this one out too because I'm not really into shooters. So I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I'm confused now if like Battlefield 4 Second Assault is like the actual Battlefield 4 game, or if this is a separate entity from the Battlefield 4 that they showed earlier. So I don't know. And they said something about like the first map pack is coming to 360 first or Xbox One first. I don't know. I just know that the first map pack is coming to the Xbox console first. And then they showed some game from the people. Oh, I don't remember. I don't know what the name of the game was, but because this was my feed crapped out, so I caught back up with it, and it was in the middle of this presentation for this game that was I don't know what it's called, but there was like these 3 captions it showed called "What Lies Below," so I'm not sure if that's the name of the game. But there's some iOS game called, I think, Sword and Sorcery. It's from the creators of that game. So yeah. And they showed this extremely short teaser for the game that the Black Tusk Studio is working on for this new IP. So that was disappointing. It's like, oh, here's the game Black Tusk Studio has been working on in secret, and like the dude totally hyped it up, and they showed it, and it's like 30 seconds long, and it's like nothing happened. This person's like rappelling down a wall, and then like takes down this soldier dude, and is about to fire a gun, and nothing happens. It just shows the logo of the studio. I was like, what? So yeah, some unannounced Black Tusk Studio game. We have no release date. And there's a trailer for the new Halo. Surprise, surprise. You can't have a Microsoft E3 press conference without a Halo game. And it's coming in 2014. I'm guessing it's Halo 5 and not something else. I haven't played 4. Well, actually, I haven't played any of them, so I didn't care. Because I'm not a Halo fan, so I was like, yeah, whatever, Halo. It was weird, though, because like, it was like so cool. Because like, he's in the desert. And then I was expecting it to not be Halo, because like I was like, okay, where's this trailer going? And I was like, okay, this looks pretty cool. Like, you have a giant robot coming out of the sand, but then like the dude in the whole time is in like this hood, because he's wearing this cloak, and like the hood comes off and it's Master Chief, and I was like, it's Halo. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I just lost all any excitement I had. I was just like down the tubes after that. I was like, it's a Halo game, whatever. And then they showed the release date and price. So it's coming in November for $499. But this is the part where I was like, okay, it's nice to have a release date and a price. However, there was no talk of Xbox Live in the pricing or the new pricing model. There was no talk of the premium features that will be included or not included if you don't have a live subscription. So it's like, that was really not cool, because it's like, oh, here's the price of the console, but we have no idea how much live is going to cost, if multiplayer will be free, if it will be with a gold subscription. It probably will, since they said gold will carry over, so it's like you still have to pay for that crap. So it's like, yeah, I was not on board gold before, and then I'm still not on board gold, so F that crap. If you've been watching my 1 week of plus videos, you know that, but yeah. Even with like 2 free games on 360, it's like you don't get anything free on Xbox One, so it's like, F that crap. Again, F that crap. And, the whole DRM issue of like, yeah, you can't, there's a lot of things you cannot do and we restrict you, but, we didn't really go into details and clear it up at all, or even acknowledge it. So go F yourselves, and here's $500 that we like in November if you're gonna buy this. And then the last thing they showed was the Respawn Studios, who are the ex-Infinity Ward people that left to make their own thing, which we all knew was going to be first person. And guess what? It's first person. Well, at least I used to say this all the time on the Aimless podcast, like, oh, it's going to be a shooter. It's going to be first person. And not surprised. It totally is. And not really interested because it's basically Call of Duty with jetpacks and wall running. Well, there's like these mechs too, but it's like whatever. It's like I don't care. I saw it. I was like, yeah, I could care less. It's like the whole time I was just like, yeah. I made this video like I don't remember months ago about like I'm done with like first-person shooters. It has Modern Warfare 3. I'm like I'm done. I don't play anymore. Whatever. PvP, I could care less. However, I must say like it was cool like the whole when you're in like the air quotes lobby before the match starts, and then like the countdown before the actual match starts, like you're loading in through a cutscene. That was pretty cool. But besides that, everything I saw was like, yeah, I could care less about this game. Because it's a sci-fi setting, but everything is so low tech. Like you have assault rifles, you have grenade launchers, you have jetpacks, and it's like if this was like, I'm not gonna get into it, but there was some cool like kinetic like. You know, you could take like the bullets that had been used and then like use them and like shoot them back at the other enemies when you're in the robot or the Titan, I guess is what it's called. But I was like, I don't care. I'm so over it. I'm so done with first-person shooters and stuff. So it's I'm not gonna go there. But yeah, that's it, and that's my thoughts on the Xbox One, or I guess Microsoft E3 2013. Press conference, so you know, Microsoft 5 was awesome. Everything else is pretty much okay to meh, and then more details would have been nice on the whole. How's this Xbox Live Gold going to work on Xbox One? So yeah, that's it for this video. Feel free to like, favorite, subscribe, comment, whatever. I don't really care. So yeah. And have a nice day. Thanks for watching. You know, what had you excited when you watched this? Or are you still not excited? Are you still waiting for more details on the whole, oh, you gotta pay if you wanna play this used game that you bought for like way cheaper, or you're buying this game for a friend? Oh, you can't play it, and if you can, it's for like an hour, and then you're screwed. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.